me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. I was looking kinda dumb with my finger and thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the wheels start coming, they won't stop coming. Head to the rules and to keep the rail running. Radio said not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to say, so much more than leaking the backstring. Never shine if we don't go.
Ho!
Never shine if we don't go.
Good to work.
Hey now, we're an all-star. Are you ready, Henry?
Yeah.
Go for the most part.
Wow, and you started out the show with one of the key parts of my ending review. So that's
your closing review of Shrek.
A big part of it, yeah. Like one of our hallmarks of the show. Yeah.
Exciting stuff. Listen, Henry, we gotta get going. What a jam-packed show we have today.
Episode 240.
240. Not a milestone, but a stone mile, baby. Let's get it going. Shut up, Tim. Let's talk about him. Friend of the show, friend of mine, not friend of Henry's. The longtime listeners and patrons of the show, patreon.com/thefranchise, $5, know Shut Up Tim on a weekly basis from the weekly shows that I've been co-hosting with him since the beginning of the pandemic. We love kids' movies and Comp Beasts.
That's right.
Do you know what those shows are about?
I have a vague idea. I've heard about them. I've seen them on the Patreon, and yeah, you shouldn't say he's not a friend of mine. I just don't know him like you.
Sure. He was on the show once. He covered a Harry Potter movie with us, the main show.
Yeah.
He had just gotten a vasectomy. He talked about it a lot on the show. And rubbed Henry the wrong way, much like Tim's doctor had done to him a couple days earlier. And we got off on the wrong start. But Tim is back next week, and he has paid $100 to request a franchise. And as Tim calls himself on a regular basis a Shrekspert, he has chosen his favorite franchise, Shrek. Okay? So this week we're talking about Shrek and Shrek 2. Shrek 2, I believe, being his personal fave. He'll be on with us next week to talk about Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After. But this week, Henry, we're just going to be peeling back the onion on the first two. Am I right, donkey?
I probably shouldn't do the
Henry!
donkey impression. I shouldn't do the donkey impression.
Henry! Would you like to peel back the donkey and talk about Shrek? I also have a new microphone for this episode, so I'm having a lot of fun.
Dan has a new mic, everybody. An announcement that I will make to people who don't know, so they tune back into the show. And thanks for making it awkward for me and Tim, by the way.
It's been awkward for years. The only way to get past the awkwardness is to have him on the show again.
But I didn't care. I always told you I wanted him back.
I know that, but I like to create a mythology for the show.
Yeah, you definitely do. There's no... Yeah. What was my reaction when you told me Tim was coming on for Shrek?
Well, here's the famous thing, was that when we covered the Harry Potter movie, we took a bathroom break. Tim came back from the bathroom without telling us. We were talking about him, and you called him like, why does he talk like that? Or something like that.
No, you... All right, let's get it right. Tim was poking... We were poking fun at each other, but you got very defensive of Tim for him when I would throw a barb at his way, almost like you were protective, and that's what was going on. So it was sort of like I could take his jabs, but when I would jab him back, you were seeming to be a little bit It seemed like you were worried I was hurting his feelings.
I was.
Yeah.
I feel
which surprised me because he seems like the kind of guy who can take a joke, but maybe my wit was a little harsh.
Oh, your wit was a little harsh, Henry.
Or my comments.
Your barbs.
Well, explain?
I don't really know. Listen, he's going to be back next week. You've been fine with it the whole time. We'll see how it goes. But he's suggested Shrek. It's a franchise I've always hated. That's not even true, though, because it's bullshit. We all liked Shrek at some point.
When the movie came out, I saw it on HBO, I guess, like, after, like, probably whatever, what is it, the 6 month to a year period that then it comes on. I thought it was great.
We all did.
Yeah, I think that's right. I never saw it again, and I didn't see the sequel, which I also realized on this watch. But yeah, 19 or 18 years have passed, and we'll see how I felt on a rewatch. See how if it was dated in any way.
Was Shrek dated in any way?
Not sure. We'll get there, and I'm not sure.
This aged like a fine wine.
Let's see if the animation held up. Let's compare it to
a Nintendo 64 game.
Let's compare it to
a Summer's Day.
Pixar.
Sure, we could do our best with that.
A Pixar movie.
Listen, this movie, when it came out, Henry, it competed for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Roger Ebert gave it a 4-star review. It was nominated for like a shit ton of awards. I saw this thing in theaters. It was everywhere. It was like, oh, animation's real now. It's for adults. Shrek is giving adults permission to go back to the theater and see some animation. Check it out. And, it was just universally accepted as being a quote-unquote good movie. That year, when it came out on DVD, I was working at Blockbuster, and we got a free copy of it. Remember I told you when we got Bruce Almighty and it didn't come with a barcode, so we couldn't return it? Same thing here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I eventually re-gifted it down the line to,
nice.
My cousin Peter. I figured, he's pretty basic. He might like Shrek.
Peter would like that.
Yeah.
I like Peter. I remember him very well. He doesn't listen to the show anymore, right?
No. Peter listened like the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and he was like, "You guys swear."
Oh, yeah. That's too bad.
He was like, "Let me give you some advice.
Oh boy.
If you stop cursing, you might get some more listeners." And I was like, "Peter, do you know what a podcast is?"
I have to say I've also, it hasn't happened often. It's only been, I have to say, over the years, it's really only been like 2 people. But I've gotten that let me give you some advice thing, and I just, God, what a turnoff instantly.
I will tell you, our friend Casey, about a year into the show, he sent me a text giving me some advice about the show, and it was clear from the text he'd never actually listened to it. He just had some ideas about it, and I was like, you don't get to send me this text. And I never responded to it, and I haven't spoken to him since.
I haven't talked to him in years.
So,
that sounds like
he lost me on that one.
Yeah, I get it. That's not cool. It's not cool. It's very annoying. And it would be like, you know what it is, too? It's just like if someone has like a band, or if someone's like, you go see them and then like they get off stage and you're like, the show was interesting, but let me give you some advice.
No, it's not even that, though. It's if they didn't go to the show, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't see you at the show," and they're like, "Yeah, I didn't make it, but I do have some advice about your music." Leave me alone.
I remember the first time Casey saw me play, though, with Lord Awesome. It was very funny because I'm sure, he was the type of person that, as you say, would just judge something flat out without having seen it. And I guess all the word of mouth and fun stuff with our friends did not matter an iota. And so when we finished our show, he came up to me and he said, "Man, Henry, you really shred."
I get that, though. I know we're ripping on Casey right now, but when I first met you, you told me your band's name is Lord Awesome. That sounds shitty. Like,
No.
Lord Awesome what took me by surprise. It took everybody by surprise. It's good, and it shouldn't be.
Thank you, but I didn't mean it like that. I meant that he had heard about, like, for years, and just on, like, guitar playing levels. That's all I meant. I didn't even mean about the band. He just, like, that he came up to me and it was basically saying, like, "Oh, you actually can play the guitar."
Gotta hear it with your own 2 ears, bro.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
Theme song right off the bat.
The people
before you even go.
The people want us to talk about Shrek.
I have a theme song regarding it before you even go.
Well, I'm not doing the awards yet.
No
Stop
award.
jumping the gun.
Award.
Pixar is good. DreamWorks is bad. Get it right or Dan will be mad. Pixar is good. DreamWorks is bad. Amazingly, hopefully someday Henry will get it right. DreamWorks is bad.
So, Henry, you're aware that this is a DreamWorks property and not a Pixar film.
I figured it out.
And do you see what I'm talking about?
I do. Although it took a long time for me to figure that out.
In this
20
movie.
years. 20
Oh,
years.
20
no,
years.
No.
Sure.
20 years. Yeah. No. Like the now I get it.
All right, let's talk about the team. Let's talk about the making of Shrek, Henry. I don't know how much you know about the development of this great franchise.
I read a little bit of it, but I kind of wanted to keep myself in the dark to have natural reactions because I already could see it was quite a story.
All right. Have you ever heard of a guy named Steven Spielberg?
I mean, he was on the show with George Lucas a couple of times. So
Oh, yeah. They made a sandcastle on the beach.
Right. That's right. That dark web recording. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Steven Spielberg bought the rights to this children's book, Shrek. It's a picture book for animation. He wanted to make an animated film. He bought it in 1991, and his original idea was Bill Murray as Shrek and Steve Martin as Donkey. All right?
Okay.
Wow, a very taciturn film. A different kind of tone.
I didn't see that. I thought I saw some other people that were prospective, but I did Steve Martin and Bill Murray. That would have been low key.
Mm-hmm. So the film went through development. Shrek was in the late 90s offered to Nicolas Cage, who turned it down, reportedly because he didn't see himself as an ogre. And I was like, all right. I mean, I kind of do, but...
Not the biggest stretch. Okay.
So then it was next offered to Chris Farley, who accepted the role and recorded almost the entire thing. All right. Also, Janine Garofalo was originally cast as Fiona, and she was fired in favor of Cameron Diaz. I sort of see what they were going for there, because maybe they were going for a voice that's a feminine voice that's a little on the manly side, and they were thinking a little deeper with Janine Garofalo, but it probably didn't play without her face, and so Cameron Diaz has a bit of a throaty, deeper voice, and I think that's what they were doing.
She does have a throaty voice. That's true.
Yeah.
All
right. Not that she's in the movie at all. I mean, Fiona's just like a cum dumpster, basically. I mean, I don't really want to say that because my niece's name is Fiona, but oh well. All right. So then Chris Farley, you know that guy, right? Big fat guy?
Yeah, I lived in a van down by the river.
That's right.
He doesn't bathe regularly. Oh, there's no air quotes.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
podcast.
He's doing the air quote thing. It's a great impression of Matt, whatever that character's name is.
Well, no, that's Matt Foley's the van down by the river guy. The other guy's oh my god.
Who were you? I thought you were just doing the van down by the river guy.
No. Then I switched to the guy who goes. Maybe I don't bathe daily or use deodorant or Bennett Brower.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah.
You remember that time you were in the Beatles?
Another great one.
Classic. All right, so Farley does it, and then he, of course, dies as a result of being very fat and drug addict. And Mike Myers, who was his friend, steals the role out right from under him, tries to claim in interviews that he took it as a friend, but seems like he made a lot of money off of it. Okay. This film is finally released. Do you know the directors and shit? We had to talk about all that. I mean, there's 2 directors involved in the first Shrek movie. Andrew Adamson and Vicky Jensen are their names.
All right.
Okay? Andrew Adamson, he was an animator. He went on to do 2 of the Narnia movies.
Oh,
not a great career, to be honest.
Yeah. I saw the first Christian movie.
Yeah, I saw that too. Vicky Jensen went on to do the Shark Tale with Will Smith and Martin Scorsese, and Post Grad, which is so bad that it's a teen movie starring Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls that I didn't finish.
Wow, that's pretty hard to believe.
I know, unbelievable, right?
Yeah, turned it off, huh?
Yeah, I think I turned it off and rewatched Napoleon Dynamite, which takes you back to around when that would have been.
Boy, I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah, me neither. All right. This has a lot of writing credits, but most notably Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who went on to also create the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. They have made a lot of money.
Wow, those guys are sitting pretty.
They sure are. One of them went off and did that Lone Ranger, and that didn't work out, but it doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds right. That's the same vibe.
Oh yeah, they like a real adventure film.
Yeah.
They should do a reboot of like Romancing the Stone.
Yeah, I'd rather they didn't.
Why not? Who would be in the reboot of Romancing the Stone today?
Oh God. Chris Pratt would be good.
Chris Pratt and Lana Del Rey. I was just thinking of people with low voices.
Oh, all right. There you go.
All right. H-Dog, this film, the other writing credits are Joe Stillman and Roger S.H. Shulman, but leave me alone. Okay.
Right.
This film was released May 18th, 2001. Right before Memorial Day there. A budget of $60 million, Henry, and this film made $484.4 million at the box office. It was the number 3 film of 2001.
The only reason it wasn't one was because Lord of the Rings came out, right?
The first Lord of the Rings and the first Harry Potter are the only 2 films that beat it.
First Harry Potter. I always forget that one goes way back to 2001. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Been making those a long time. Those kids were just little kids. Just little boys and girls.
That's right.
Yeah, now they're out there in the world making big fart movies.
Yeah.
Wearing haute couture, I think.
Kate Spade.
Does Emma Watson do anything other than wear nice dresses?
She has a Kate Spade purse.
I don't know what that is.
Somebody at work had it, and I've heard that that's a fancy purse.
Oh, isn't that David Spade's like cousin or something? I'm really serious.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he's talked about that.
Yeah. I think they're related in some way.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it. So before it ever even came out, it was nominated for the Palme d'Or, which, is so wild.
Yeah, that is wild, man. In 2001, there were certainly, I'm sure there were no other films.
But there are a million movies nominated, but the Palme d'Or is supposed to represent the height of art filmmaking, It's here's what won that year. Here's what beat Shrek. It's a film called The Sun's Room, okay?
Okay.
It's an Italian film by Nanni Moretti. about a psychoanalyst and his family going through a profound emotional trauma when their son dies in a scuba diving accident. Okay?
Oh.
Now that's the Palme d'Or. That's the Palme d'Or I know and love.
Right. Now, does that qualifies for a Cannes theme, or?
Do you have a Cannes theme?
I have them all.
Great, let's hear it.
Je m'appelle, qu'est-ce que c'est? Parlez-vous français quand je m'appelle? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Comment c'est va Cannes?
Yeah.
Wow. I have no memory
I know.
of that. What other film did we make? What was that, Before Sunrise or something?
Oh boy, I don't know, but that is, I have to say, a fan favorite. I've gotten quite a lot of mail about that theme. I mean, I get it about a few of them, but that one seems... I mean, Jason Anthony Harris even recorded his own version of that.
How come we haven't played it on the show?
Oh, I know why. He told me... he told me, please don't play
I
it.
want to!
I'd have to find
Let's
it.
get permission for next week from Jason Anthony Harris. All right.
It's version. It's, you know what's so great about it? He doesn't do anything to it. He just singing it, just like my version. It's just his voice singing.
Yeah, well,
kind of like your Razzie.
Jason Anthony Harris has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, it's like your Razzie version. It's just an homage to something that you love, and you don't even want to tinker with it because it's such a masterful work.
It's like the Gus Van Sant Psycho.
Very much unlike that. Yeah.
Henry, do you want to do the Oscars?
Oh yeah, I'm pouring coffee. Hold on one second.
Okay, well, I mean, it is the section of the show I most need you involved, so maybe not a great time for that. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask this 10 seconds of silence right now.
You're right. We were on kind of a theme song thing going on.
Yeah, we were on a bit of a run.
Is that what it is? All right,
Seems like the whole show's been disrupted by that coffee.
Oh my goodness, guys. I got bad news. This video is unavailable. They pulled the Oscar theme. Wow! Oh my God, for years! That is so terrible.
All right, then you're going to have to create one right now.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'll have to find another one for later.
No, whatever you come up with right now is the permanent Oscars theme.
We'll throw it to the board of directors. We'll see what they have.
Great. I'm the board of directors. I approve this. Yeah.
One man directors. Okay. Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
I'm just taking it in. Red carpet, gowns, the golden man. I wish you could have included the stars are out, my classic catchphrase.
The stars are out, the limos, you know. I had to make it up right there. I'm foggy.
All right, well, it was great. All right. Shrek won the Oscar for Best Animated Film, Henry. The first time it was offered.
What is it up against?
They created this category so Shrek could win. What was it up against?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Monsters, Inc. and one other thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I just wondered.
This was also, Henry, nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay.
That's right, because it's from a book.
Uh-huh. And I'm sorry to say that it lost to Batman and Robin writer Akiva Goldsman for the great A Beautiful Mind.
Yes. About anti-Semite John Nash.
I'll take it over Shrek. All right, Golden Globes. Let's hear that theme.
Oh, already an early review of the movie, which you snuck in there.
I don't care. Fuck Shrek. Go ahead.
Hey. Woo. What are we doing? The Golden Globes?
Yes,
All right.
just put your coffee down and just do this part. Just don't take a sip for the next 5 minutes.
It's hard. I'm looking on the Wix site.
Oh, and, my God. You have them. They're yours.
No, but I wanted to use Olivia's site. Interesting. All right, I don't see it there. I'll have to pull my own theme song up. Yeah.
How novel.
Well, it's not on there.
Pulling up something that you yourself recorded on your phone.
Jeez. The Golden Globes. It's the Hollywood foreign press, mostly French.
All right, all of that just to say it was nominated for fucking Best Comedy or Musical. It lost to Moulin Rouge. All right, let's hear the BAFTAs theme. This movie was nominated for all the awards. I'm just reiterating. Go ahead.
I had it up. I had to stop.
Oh, God.
The British Academy of Film, Television, and Arts. BAFTA.
Yeah, it was nominated for a lot of awards for the BAFTAs. The Brits really liked Shrek.
Of course, it's Scottish.
Yeah. It was nominated for Best Film of the Year.
Best Film of the Year.
Yeah. It lost to Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
But really, that year, we got the BAFTAs, we got Cannes. We're just...
This is maybe this is where it started, Henry. America just became a nation of fucking children. The second George W. Bush was in office, we were like, we just want cartoons about Nintendo 64 looking ogres farting, and please give us a bunch of guys wandering through the woods with talking trees.
Yeah. You're right. It's like May 2001. He's been in office for like 5 months. It's not going so well for him.
Yeah. And let's have a kid learning magic while we're at it and playing soccer in the air.
Is that George W. Bush himself?
Harry Potter.
Oh, because he was doing similar things. What else did this have? I know it's got more.
Eddie Murphy was nominated for the BAFTA for Best Supporting Actor for his voice performance as Donkey.
All right.
And he lost. This is an amazing one, actually. Eddie Murphy lost Best Supporting Actor for Donkey to Jim Broadbent for Moulin Rouge.
Oh, man. That's amazing in a couple of ways.
This might be the worst year of movies ever.
2001 I've never regarded as a particularly good year. Anyway,
what's the best year? What's the best movie from 2001? Like, what's...
Royal Tenenbaums.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I remember as being like the standout on my list. I'm sure there's some other stuff. Was Training Day that year?
I mean,
maybe?
Yeah, but is that really that great? All right.
Well, yeah.
This film won the BAFTA for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Sure.
All right. All those four guys all went up. They'd never met each other before, and they were like, "Hey, thank you."
It's certainly one of those movies.
Nominated for Best Score, Henry. Ya-da-da, ya-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? Isn't that how it goes?
I don't even... there's no score.
That's the score.
There's no score in this movie.
Well, yes, there is, Henry, and it lost to Moulin Rouge. It also lost Best Sound to Moulin Rouge and Best Visual Effects to The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh. All right, let's hear about the great Saturn Awards.
What about the British Film Institute? Does that come into play at all?
No, I mean, they are in charge of the BAFTAs.
Oh, you're always skirting the BFI theme, and I don't know why.
Because it's not... The BFI theme is for when it's on, like, AFI lists, but for British, and it's not.
Eh,
all right. Here we go.
Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa, sci-fi best films.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy again nominated for Best Supporting Actor of the Year, and lost to Ian McKellen as in his role as Gandalf the White or whatever the fuck. in Fellowship. All right. Also, this one's gonna drive you nuts, but it made me happy. You ready for this?
Mm-mm.
Nominated for Best Writing, as you know, the Saturn Awards love Best Writing. And lost to Steven Spielberg for the great film AI, Artificial Intelligence.
Yeah, I think the screenplay for Shrek is actually pretty underrated. I feel there's some stuff going on there that has been a little underappreciated in the AI stratosphere.
I wish this movie ended the way AI did. Just Shrek at the bottom of the ocean.
Bottom of a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nominated Henry for Best Music, but it lost to John Williams for AI.
Yeah, great score.
And nominated for Best Fantasy Film of the Year, but of course it lost to Lord of the Rings. All right, now we move on to the Kids' Choice Awards.
I don't think we've ever covered a movie with this many awards. There's
Honestly, we've covered...
There's no way.
Well, because, we've done shit like Godfather and Chinatown or whatever, but, there weren't as many award shows back then. And we've, decided we're going to cover all these award shows.
Yeah. Well, they bring joy to the people's hearts to hear this.
We're award bros.
It's the Kids' Choice Awards. It's KCA to you, but it's the kids making the choice, yeah.
Yeah, Shrek, it was nominated for the Best Movie of the Year at the Kids' Choice Awards, but the kids did not choose it. They went with another film we've covered, Henry, which I don't think is for kids, Rush Hour 2.
Oh, it certainly is not. It's not for adults either.
Kids love that Jeremy Piven gay character.
Yeah. They like Chris Tucker mocking an Asian man.
Well, they probably just love Jackie Chan. The kids love Jackie Chan.
And Chris Tucker talks fast.
Yeah, and he's high-pitched.
Right.
Cute. All right.
Right.
And how about this award? Best Animated Voice. All right? There were 4 nominees in the category.
Jesus.
All right? Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, and you might think John Lithgow, but poor Lithgow, shut out. It's the other one was Billy Crystal from Monsters Inc.
Ooh.
And it went to Eddie Murphy, of course.
Okay.
Now, finally, the MTV Awards.
I want my MTV.
Yeah, nominated for Best Movie of the Year over there at the MTV Awards. Lost to Fellowship of the Ring. Nominated for the Best On-Screen Team. Listen to this. This is so amazing, Henry. I want you to really think about this. In 2001.
All right.
Best On-Screen Team. They nominated the 3 Shreks. The 3 Shrekkers.
Okay.
And they lost. Listen to the winners. Vin Diesel and Paul Walker for the first Fast and the Furious film.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Oh, yeah.
How can we not talk about families when family's all that we've got? Okay. Finally, Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers were both nominated separately for Best Comedic Performance. And they lost to Reese Witherspoon for Legally Blonde.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take that movie.
And this also made it to AFI lists.
I know. It's on one AFI list.
Yeah. So I guess that means this.
AFI.
That's right. I wanted to save the best for last. The AFI theme. And Shrek is considered by the American Film Institute, our old friends, to be the number 8 animated film ever made.
It's culturally significant.
Well, the Library of Congress in the year 2020, one of the many reasons 2020 is the worst year in American history, added Shrek to its National Film Registry.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about all of that and more, why it's culturally significant. Oh, you know what? There's somebody who wants to just say something because he's tired of being ignored. I'm sorry.
And the British Film Institute.
All right, Shrek. Let's fucking talk about it. This creature. All right, Shrek is an ogre. He's a big. Everyone knows what fucking Shrek is. What am I even doing with my life?
I'm not sure. You took the money.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's okay that we're talking about Shrek, but I don't need to like explain Shrek to everybody.
Yeah. He's an ogre. He's green. He has snot.
What else do we know about him?
I did not recall that there was as much, shall we say, a bathroom humor.
Oh, well, I did. Let's write this right away. Okay, here's how the film opens. You get the big DreamWorks logo, DreamWorks Animation. It's all rainbows, rainbow lettering, so you know it's for kids. Did you notice that all the S's in DreamWorks SKG were little Shrek S's?
I didn't. They got little ears?
Yeah, they got those little ears. That's what the logo is. So it's before you even meet any of the characters, you're already being confronted with a logo.
Right.
That's how little art was involved in the making of this film.
Some of this is coming as a little bit of a sorpresa to me. I did not know you. Now, has this animosity for the movie been around you for a while?
Yeah, years. Look, Shrek.
Okay.
Shrek is a movie. It came out. We all thought we liked it. We had like Phantom Menace syndrome with it. We were like supposed to like it, so we decided we did. All right. Now, I get it. I know we're 40 minutes into the podcast right now, and I know that people are listening, and some people are worried about me talking shit about the movie too hard, and you're going to shut it off or something. And that's understandable, because a lot of people grew up on Shrek, people like a little bit younger than me. Shrek was already... I was 16 or 15 when this movie came out. Yeah. So, like, I was a little over it. You know.
Right. Well, yeah. I was 22, so and by the time I saw it, 23. So, I mean, for me, it was just like, all right, I've heard a lot about this fucking movie. It's on HBO. Let's check it out tonight.
I think you probably also like this movie if you grew up with it and eventually had kids, because then it's something you can play them that you have like a little bit of nostalgia for. It does have jokes for adults. That's sort of why the movie gained the notoriety it did.
Absolutely, that's why.
None of them are good.
Right.
You know, like our adults, they require so little that they were like, oh, go see this new movie Shrek. They directed jokes at us. And I'm like, yeah, but are they good jokes?
That doesn't matter.
No, none of them. None of them. Not a single one's good.
That doesn't really matter.
All right, so we get into the movie. First thing you hear, a toilet flush. Okay?
All right.
Then Shrek comes out of the bathroom, doing an old Ace Ventura, like, wow, I just took an enormous shit in there. It stinks. Yeah. It smells like my shits. Then All Star by Smash Mouth comes on.
That's my LVP.
That's your LVP, Henry?
Smash Mouth, yeah.
You know what I have to say about that?
I don't care. Go ahead.
Fush you, man.
Yeah, Smash Mouth, and it's sort of a slash, not the guitarist, sort of a slash LVP. It's sort of Smash Mouth / all of the music.
let's just call it Slash Mouth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
I don't need any.
A lot of slash fiction about the Shrek films, of course.
I don't need any of that, man. A lot of slash snake pit, and there is a snake pit here. There's a swamp with snakes. You know, one of the things that hits me right away when I watch the movie, is I'm just thinking about it. You know, it's been 19 years hence. And I'm thinking about Mike Myers, and I'm just like, all right, Mike Myers right now, it's 2001, he's enjoying quite a wave. He's in Austin Powers, the crest of that, riding that.
Get in my belly!
Right. And I'm just looking at the movie, and I'm like, this is a guy who just does this accent. That's like his thing, and he got a whole movie just doing a Scottish accent.
He didn't, though. They recorded the whole thing without the Scottish accent.
I know.
And then they deemed the Scottish accent to be absolutely necessary.
I know. I read that. But it's just kind of amazing when you think about it. It's just like, it's an Canadian actor who can just do this one accent, and everyone goes nuts over it. I mean, look, when he did it in So I Married an Axe Murderer, it's fucking genius.
Get in my belly!
When he got it to that,
that's my favorite line from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
That is one of the best lines in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of mind-blowing. I don't know. It's just weird. It was weird to me watching the movie, and I was like, this was so entertaining.
You know who's got a huge mind to blow is that kid who was sitting in front of the TV and So I Married an Axe Murderer. Am I right?
He's got a head like Sputnik. Heath, move your head. Great scene. Best scene in the movie.
Pretty great. All right, so then Shrek goes into the river, the swamp, to catch a fish, and what he does is he farts, and his fart is so powerful, very smelly, it kills all of the wildlife around. How come he doesn't use this elsewhere in the movie? I feel like he's constantly being confronted. He could just fart on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions in the Shrek universe, in the Shrek-verse.
Okay, so, I mean, so he lives in this swamp. Where does this... All right, I understand that it's a storybook and it takes place in, like, a fairy tale land, but, like, where's the swamp?
In the South?
I truly don't understand the geography of the Shrek movies, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because I understand that it's bullshit, but where are they? Where is Farquaad's castle? Where is Fiona? Where is Far, Far Away, where they go in the next movie? I have no idea where anything is compared to one another. I'm sure there's some sort of Shrek universe map I can look at on the internet.
I'm sure there is. There's some cartographer who took the time to do it, an amateur cartographer.
Fartographer.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't think about that. There's several locations. They're all vastly different.
We're constantly going on journeys in this movie, but we don't know how long the journey is.
Yeah, because even in a movie like Frozen, when there's some traveling, you have some sort of idea of climate. Maybe climate change, the topography changes. Here we're just kind of put somewhere and then put another place. And there's some walking.
It's all right. They go through the woods.
Walking. Yeah.
That's what it always is in these movies. You just have to travel through the woods long enough and you end up somewhere.
It's a fairy tale. Don't think too hard.
I guess you're right, Henry. All right, so all of a sudden, lots of creatures start showing up in this swamp, and Shrek's like, what? And so he's like, what? We gotta figure this shit out. Well, who's this guy? Donkey. And he shows up. He's a donkey with the voice of Eddie Murphy.
We get some scenes with all the fairy tale creatures. You see Pinocchio and all those people.
Yeah, you see the big bad wolf.
3 little pigs. 3 blind mice.
Oh, yeah, I liked the 3 blind mice a little.
Yeah,
Listen, there's parts of this movie
fun.
that are cute.
Yeah, those parts were cute. The gingerbread man, the mirror doing its little 2001-y take on Snow White and Cinderella.
That's later. That's over at the villain's palace or whatever. The villain in this film, Lord Fuckwad, by John Lithgow. He is. What did you like the scene later in the movie where the mirror shows him some footage of Princess Fiona while he is shirtless in bed, J-O?
J-O.
That's right. Jerking off.
All right. Well,
clearly stroking his cock while looking at Fiona on the magical mirror.
I didn't really. You asked me if I liked the scene. I didn't have any feeling whatsoever about it.
I had a lot of feelings about it.
All right.
I like the gingerbread man. I'll say that. I think he's funny, and he's voiced by one of the writers or producers or something, and I usually hate that shit. So
right.
I'm a little impressed because I did find that character to be enormously likable, and the joke about him knowing the Muffin Man on Drury Lane is a little enjoyable.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't have this animosity for the movie that you do.
I don't have animosity. Look, the first Shrek is all right. I'll be honest with you. Going into this Shrek project, the Shrek heads talked to me a lot about these films, and the consensus seemed to be that the second one is like the height of the franchise.
Oh.
And
okay.
You know, I'm a little confused by that because I watched the second one and it
too.
was an appallingly bad piece of shit. Like the first one, like the second one honestly makes the first one so palatable.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's
agree.
why I grew to hate this franchise over the years. Like maybe if there was just one, I would remember it as being like a decent thing I watched when I was in high school or something. But like I have like active malice towards it. And I think it might be because I saw the second and third one in theaters.
Okay, yeah. See, I hadn't seen any of the other ones. My thing with it was, it really just like this was one of those movies that, seeing it at the time, I was like, oh man, this is funny. Adult jokes, la la la. And then seeing it now, it's just pales. I mean, it pales, man. I was ready to go into this movie. Honestly, totally open to giving it anything. I mean, I thought it would be, I could come out of this saying like, holy shit, man, what? No wonder it's remembered. What a 5-star awesome animated film. And I didn't come out with that impression whatsoever. I really just kind of came out of it just thinking, though, it's fine. It's not unwatchable at all, but it is a little mind-blowing at how revered and remembered this movie is, because when you watch it now, when I watched it, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like it's not that good.
I think it's a badly written movie, but I do think that the screenplay is perfect on like a Sid Field level. Like
Explain.
Okay,
I don't know that arcane reference.
Sid Field writes screenplay instructional books, and he is basically pays a lot of attention to structure and the hero's journey. And from a Sid Field level, it has a perfect 3-act structure, a perfect hero's journey, a well-performed and fully thought out message for the end of the film that like beauty's on the inside or whatever, and you're beautiful no matter what, which is just like a fucking participation trophy, like Gen Z way of teaching kids. But what are you gonna do? So like it is good. I wish Fiona was in the movie sooner. It's weird that like the film really rests on the love story between Shrek and Fiona, but we don't get there for a really long time. Like we see Shrek like with the fairy tale creatures or whatever, and then the donkey shows up.
Because it's a buddy movie for a long time. It's a buddy film.
And I think it works better as a buddy film, but that's not really what the movie's about.
Yeah. But I mean, I did like, I mean, this one treads the thin line, you know, which is one of the reasons I'm glad you have your show with Tim to talk about kids movies, because I can't do it. And, you know, it treads a line for me with cutesiness and just being lovely and amusing. And I did think Eddie Murphy was perfectly fun as the donkey, and I much preferred him to Mike Myers in the title role, and I didn't expect that I would think that.
You know why? Because Mike Myers, and we talked about this when we did Austin Powers, is like you can see the wheels turning. He's one of he's one of the least I don't know.
Natural?
Yeah, I guess. Like he never comes across like improvisational or spontaneous. He's just like everything is so thought out. He's like the Diamond Dallas Page of comedy. And I sorry, that joke's for nobody. I just can't take it. And putting him next to Eddie Murphy in this movie, even though it's animated, makes Donkey come across so much more spontaneous and free and funny.
True.
So like I don't know. Like anytime Donkey's annoying Shrek, I'm on Donkey's side. Like Shrek is like a downer. He like doesn't have fun. He doesn't like to be around people. He's gross. He's annoying. I think the character design is bad in the first one and is actually improved in the second one. You know, I will say one thing about these movies. The animation in this first Shrek movie is god fucking awful.
It's rotoscope.
No, it's not. I would take rotoscope. This is trash, dude. This is early CGI, and DreamWorks, you know, they had most of their team working on Prince of Egypt because they thought that was going to be their big hit. And so, like, Shrek was like the ghetto, man. They would send, like, the animators they didn't really give a shit about to work on Shrek. And I gotta tell you, you can tell in the finished product because this looks like early Nintendo 64. This doesn't even look like late Nintendo 64 when it's like, oh, they're working on the GameCube by now. This just looks like fucking Wave Race 64. Like and you know, it looks a little better. Like the best looking character is Donkey.
Yeah, he's fine.
They can do animals a little bit better, and by the second movie, I think they get the ogres down. But like Lord Fuckwad, and like anytime we come across a human character in either of these movies, they look like fucking shit.
Yeah, and the backgrounds are actually what I really noticed. That really stood out to me. Like the backgrounds just looking literally like painted mats.
Worse than that, it looks like when you are playing like a Sega Genesis game and you hit a home run into the crowd.
There you go. Now I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how audiences look in those old sports games? That's what the forest in this movie looks like.
It does. It's just sort of like a white blur with a couple of little browns.
Yeah. It's just an enchanted pixel theater.
Yeah. No, it's true. Do you think though is that what we thought at the time? Because I don't think I thought that.
No,
at the time
of course not. But that's the test with animation.
Yeah,
and like you go back and watch stuff from the 90s, like we watched Aladdin. Right. Like the animation looks great. Say what you will about the movie or whatever, but it looks fantastic. And even like, you know, Pixar had the right idea early on with their shit because they knew that humans didn't look good.
Yeah.
So, like, their first movie's Toy Story, their second movie's Bug's Life, their third movie's Monsters, Inc. Like, they didn't even fucking bother with humans until The Incredibles, which came out 3 years after this and looks about 1 trillion times fucking better.
Yeah, it sure does. Wow. That's a pretty short gap, too. Okay.
Incredibles. The first Incredibles movie came out the same year as Shrek 2, and it makes that movie look like garbage.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, your Pixar DreamWorks argument is coming clearer and clearer into view, much like a viewfinder when you get to the Niagara Falls slide.
That's good. I had a viewfinder. I loved this.
So did I.
Mm-hmm. I liked the little click it made when you would press the orange thing.
I believe that.
Sometime if I didn't even have a wheel in there, I would click that.
Well, you do things like that. I could see you just not even looking into it and talking to somebody and just fidgeting with the viewfinder. Just clicking it.
Sure.
I could see you doing that.
I would do it right now.
I believe you would, especially since you are confronted for the first time in ever franchise history of not having a mic in your hand.
I don't know what to do with my hands today. It is driving me insane.
Yeah.
I just keep picking up my notes and putting them down again.
Try resting. See, I rest. I rest on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Farquaad is his name. That's one of the many jokes for adults. Is it's supposed to sound like fuckwad.
Right.
And he wants to marry Fiona, who is in a castle like Rapunzel, being like guarded by a dragon.
Yeah, I found that weird too. That they took the route of referencing actual fairy tale heroines and then picking one, like making up one that resembles Rapunzel. And then I was kind of just like, why not just use Rapunzel?
I have a theory. It's that Katzenberg probably tried to get a Rapunzel movie getting going at Disney and wasn't able to, and so he just brought his ideas over to DreamWorks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Similar thought. And I was thinking about like, well, there is no, at the time, as far as I know, there was no Rapunzel movie. So with the rights, clearly the rights to any of these aren't owned, but right?
No, but 10 years after this, Disney made Tangled, so they might have had that in the pipeline.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. So, Farquaad doesn't know the secret that happens to Fiona, right? Nor do we,
right,
as an audience.
What happens is Fiona secretly has a spell put on her, and she is a beautiful woman by day, but then when the sun goes down, she turns into a green ogre, just like Shrek. But see, she's hiding it from them at first because she thinks she looks ugly as an ogre, and but then it's revealed to them, and then you get the big moment at the end when she's like, and the whole thing is like when she experiences true love's kiss, then she's gonna be beautiful permanently, all right?
Her true self.
Yeah. So the whole movie, like, basically, like, there's a whole section of the movie, like 40 minutes, that's just like 3 straight montages of Shrek and Fiona falling in love to different songs. One of which is The Eels, My Beautiful Monster, which fucking kudos, Shrek. I didn't know the Shrek people knew about the Eels.
When I saw the Eels subtitle come up and all that song kick in, I was like, oh.
They have a song in the second one, too. Like, that's an odd choice.
Digging a little deeper than Smash Mouth on that one.
Actually, the music, I thought, in the first one, with the exception of Smash Mouth and I'm a Believer at the end, was pretty good.
It's just so dated, man.
No, but I mean, like, but a lot of it is like, so there's the Eels song. They use that Rufus Wainwright cover of Hallelujah, which is cute. And
I didn't. That was Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they use Bad Reputation at one point, which I liked, although it makes me angry that an entire generation of people know Bad Reputation from Shrek.
See, that's what happens.
Yeah. Like, Freaks and Geeks got canceled after one season, then Shrek was like, well, now it's ours. And I'm just thankful for Ronda Rousey for redirecting. Because that was her entrance music as a wrestler.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
That's right. All right, so there's like I mean, it's pretty episodic. They're just like traveling through the woods. What were there sequences you enjoyed?
I mean, I thought that they run into Robin Hood and they have
I hated that.
pretty, yeah, it's not good. They have
Well, partly it's because Robin Hood's a human being, and so he looks like garbage.
yeah, but it's also just they give him a musical number, and they make him sort of a rapist, which was interesting.
A rapist?
I didn't see that coming.
Wait, explain that to me. You mean because he like tries to hook up with her and she has to like fight him off physically?
Yeah, that's all.
It's just an excuse for a Matrix reference.
Oh, right. Yeah, that dude.
That's embarrassing.
So embarrassing, man. I was embarrassed watching it, and it just like, I mean, I don't know. I get it. I guess if you're just making the movie in the time and you don't have the sort of foresight that a great filmmaker makes, you're just like, we'll take everything right. We've seen it before. But man, it's almost like when they make movies like this, they're just not even thinking at all about the future whatsoever.
They're not. Movies for kids are like, kids are going to enjoy this on May 18th, the day it comes out. And that's what we're aiming at.
But they don't really do that anymore, do they? I mean, Frozen doesn't have that kind of stuff. The Incredibles doesn't really do stuff like that.
Pixar, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I like the fairy tale stuff. I thought that honestly there could have been a little more of that, like the famous characters, because I thought that was a cute thing.
Well, there's a lot more of it in the second one. Did you enjoy that?
There is. No, but that's another discussion. But yeah, but the movie just kind of moves along, and it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I
had two laughs.
Oh, all right.
When Donkey starts to sing that song, "You Gotta Have Friends," that's sort of like a fake "You've Got a Friend in Me," and Shrek just like cuts him off and doesn't let him sing the song. That's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed when she's singing with that song. She's singing that song with the songbird in the woods. And they get too high and the bird just explodes. And then she steals the bird's eggs and cooks them for breakfast.
Yeah. It's very dark.
That is dark.
I guess it was to reflect her ogre side of her personality.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought and it escaped me. That doesn't matter.
Great.
Oh, yeah. I didn't laugh in the movie. I did smile, though. I had several moments where I smiled. Which was something.
I did, too. The first Shrek is pretty amiable. It tells a good story. I do think that the denouement of the film really works for me when... so when she experiences true love's kiss with Shrek, she turns into an ogre full time rather than a beautiful lady. And she's like, "Oh, I thought I'd be beautiful," or whatever. And Shrek's like, "Ya are, but ya are."
I love that when you do the Mike Myers Shrek impression, you really do go all in, because for those of you folks who can't see Dan, like that would be everyone, he's doing the facial expressions, his eyes get real big.
I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
Now that's Jim Carrey.
That's Jim Carrey doing Scotty from Star Trek in Ace Ventura.
Right. Which that moment in the movie made me laugh quite a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so they all do "I'm a Believer," and that's the end of the movie. What do you give this film?
I like that. By the way, that cover, but in the Beatles original. All right.
That's not a Beatles song, you fucking idiot.
It's the Monkees. I meant the Monkees.
No wonder you don't like the Beatles. You think their songs are by the Monkees.
Well, I like the Monkees far more.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. There's a dumb third act misunderstanding in this movie that I could live the fuck without because it means nothing.
It takes a lot of time too.
Yeah, there's this whole thing because Shrek drops her off at Lord Fuckwad's palace and like then just books out of there. And it's like so clear by that point that they love each other and that like this guy's an asshole. Like this franchise, I think as a whole, has a problem with never letting their villains seem charming for an instant. Like they're just assholes the entire fucking movie. So like that would be fine if they were like genocidal weirdos, but like in the movie they hang out with the characters a lot. So in this movie, like you have to sort of pretend like fuckwad at least should want to be with Fiona, like fighting for her, but he's just an asshole. And in the second movie, there's a whole section where like Fiona thinks that Prince Charming is Shrek, and we just never get like a single second where we think that's possible.
Yeah, it's very true. They're extremely one-dimensional villains. Again, I guess, unlike Pixar villains. And you're right. And that misunderstanding thing it really goes on for like a long time. It's so transparently a plot device. It's like wearing it's so ridiculously thrown in there. Like, just like, this will be an easy way to do this. If we just make a misunderstanding, then there'll be the conflict.
Well, that's why I feel like they were just at a Sid Field workshop writing the fucking script.
Yeah.
What do you give this movie?
I'm giving it an amiable 3.
I am too. It's kind of a 3. That's what it is.
It's a 3. I don't think that a 2 would be. No. I wouldn't object to a 2, but I think it's a 3-star movie. It's fine.
I'm with you. Who's your MVP?
Eddie Murphy.
I'm gonna go with the gingerbread man.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he's very cute. I like his high voice. LVP Smash Mouth really ruined it.
Steve Harwell.
Right away, man. Like right into the movie. That's what triggered me immediately before anything else. I was like, "Oh, wait, what? Oh." And it just like I was like, "Oh man, it's going to be one of these." It sort of just sets the tone.
And that's
yeah. Not me.
Oh, we didn't talk about how the donkey ends up fucking the dragon.
I was wondering about the acrobatics of that for a good deal in the movie. And it was one of the things where I did feel sorry for Donkey because I felt like he was going to be taken advantage of.
I don't know.
For the rest of his life. But then it seems like he's totally into it, and by the end, and he's fine. And
then they wrote out the dragon for no reason before the second one.
There's a lot of drawing and too much animation for a giant creature like that.
I understand.
Yeah.
And where do you animate the pussy?
What's that?
Where do you animate the vagina, Henry? Where is Donkey pointing it?
I mean, that's the thing. I would think he'd have to put his whole body inside.
Well, right? Like a fucking kangaroo?
Yeah. How would he satisfy her in any sort of meaningful way? I mean, unless
you don't know, you don't know Donkey's skills, bro.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's true. He'll tell it to us at some point.
I bet you're right. LVP for me is probably Shrek.
Wow. Right in the first movie, huh?
No, you're actually right. I'm being an asshole.
Save that one.
Probably, I'm a fan of Lithgow. I said nice things about him when we did Daddy's Home 2 last week, but
you did.
I really don't like that villain.
I thought about doing that, and then I just kind of did sort of the opposite of what I usually do, is where I usually will pick that character and then say I'm not blaming the actor, but I didn't want to even. Lithgow's doing his best with nothing, so.
I agree. I do sort of feel bad for Lithgow that everybody after this first one got massive raises. I read that Diaz, Myers, and Eddie Murphy all made $10 million for Shrek 2.
Well, I believe that. That's easy to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For 15 to 18 hours of work apiece. And
God.
Yeah. So and Lithgow didn't get in on that paycheck.
He's better than that.
All right, you want to get into it?
Yeah.
Shrek 2. We've got Andrew Adamson back to direct, and he's got 2 more directors. Because you know what I say about art? Get yourself 3 filmmakers at the same time. Kelly Asbury is a co-director who had worked on Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron for DreamWorks, and went on to do Romeo and Juliet and a Smurfs movie and the Ugly Dolls film. All right.
Do you remember when they were filming a Smurfs movie in Central Park?
No.
I happened to be in Central Park that day. I don't remember the context. I was taking a jaunt on my own, and a lot of it was blocked off, and big signs saying Smurf movie. But I didn't see any Smurfs, so I was disappointed.
Oh.
Sorry,
I just got a request from a listener for a new franchise. We just got a cash influx.
I'll take it anytime.
All right, yeah. Sorry about that distraction. All right,
that's all right. I'll take it.
All right, and lastly, our third director is Conrad Vernon.
Who cares? Keep going.
Oh no! This guy actually did shit too. Monsters vs. Aliens, Madagascar 3, and he was involved in Sausage Party and the Addams Family animated movie. So,
I liked the first Madagascar.
I didn't. I liked Sausage Party. Okay. I will say that it's weird to get 3 directors that have never worked together before or since this. Well, how does that result in a movie?
Well, that's how these things work, though, right? These animated films, sometimes they just pull people together, and then I don't know. Are they even? How do they even do that on an animated movie?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Like, do they get together?
I assume they pick characters or different sections of the movie.
Yeah, right. That's probably what it is. Somebody takes the middle.
Yeah, part. Someone's like, I'll do all the Cleese parts, and I'm like, your parts are boring. All right, it was written by Andrew Adamson, Joe Stillman, J. David Stern, and David N. Weiss.
3 names I enjoy.
Yeah, great names. They've gone on to be mentioned in passing on a podcast. This film was released May 19th, 2004. Almost exactly 3 years. They really did the magical 3-year window.
They did.
On a budget of $150 million, almost $90 million more than the first one, partly for those paychecks. But no worries, Henry. This film made $919.8 million in 2004 money and was the #1 highest grossing film of the year.
Oh my God, made more than Spider-Man 2.
Here was the top 5. Number 5, The Incredibles. Number 4, Meet the Fockers, which has the exact same premise as this movie. Number 3, The Passion of the Christ. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. And number 1, Shrek 2.
Wow. It almost made $1 billion.
Amazing.
Holy shit!
All right, this was also nominated for a lot of awards, so get those ready. Hey, can we hear that new Oscars theme again?
It's in the file, in the little Samsung file note cabinet. Mm-hmm. I can't access it right now.
Okay.
I need to. Yeah.
Listen, this was nominated for Best Animated Film. It lost to The Incredibles. And
good.
Yep. And it was nominated for Best Song, Henry. That's right. Accidentally in Love by the Counting Crows, kicking off this movie. Accidentally in love. Come on, come a little closer. Come on. You know what we're doing. Counting Crows. Great guitar. Right?
I have to say that I hate the Counting Crows. I hate them. When I was in 8th grade, that fucking song, Mr. Jones, was on perpetual
Yeah.
repeat on MTV, and I never liked it.
Man, I wish I was beautiful.
They suck, and I don't give a shit. I know a lot of people like them. I don't fucking care. They suck.
Round here,
That's another one.
always stay up late.
Whiny, annoying, fucking. Ugh.
Omaha, somewhere in middle America, give it right to the heart that matters. It's the heart that matters more. Think I better turn my ticket in and keep my money back out the door.
You've really got that articulation down pretty well.
Yeah, I could do
with
a
that
pretty
guy.
good Duritz. Listen,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm a fan.
All right.
I'm sorry to say it. I apologize.
No. Are you in a chair that rolls?
No.
Oh. Do you have magical powers? Because it certainly looked like you were levitating.
I was just sort of like half on the chair. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm having fun here.
Sorry,
Listen,
aesthetic. Okay.
Counting Crows are great. Their first two albums, of course, August and Everything After and Recovering
Great
the Satellites, are
great.
incredible albums.
Oh, yeah. Fucking great.
And their third one has a few good songs on it, including the one that Ryan Phillippe took Reese Witherspoon's virginity to in Cruel Intentions. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Long December, and there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last.
Oh, did he develop like a slight sinus congestion? Because that impression had sort of a little thing going on there. Is that what happened in the third album? Was it Alec Guinness?
That's from the second album.
Did Alec Guinness guest star on the second Counting Crows album?
No, but speaking of, this film opens with a voiceover from Rupert Everett, and I felt like saying, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
So mean.
All right. All right, Counting Crows. They lost to film a song from the Motorcycle Diaries. All right. Golden Globes?
Sometimes it just gets you. You never know what's going to get you. You know, Mr. Belvedere's nuts or...
He sat on his balls.
Yeah, you just never know. Oh, okay. Sorry. Long recovery time for that. Here we go.
It's the GGs, the Golden Globes. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press, mostly French.
All right, Golden Globes. They also nominated the great "Accidentally in Love" by the Counting Crows. Excuse me, I keep saying the Counting Crows. They are, of course, simply Counting Crows. Now, they lost, Henry, to the song "Old Habits Die Hard" by the great team of Mick Jagger and Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics. And that song was recorded for the great Jude Law remake of Alfie. That's right, Alfie, Golden Globe winner.
All right, well, Jude Law was kind of wandering around for a little bit.
Yeah, Saturn, between Uranus and Neptune. Do you want to play the thing? It's up to you.
I mean, it's one of the greatest things I've composed. I'd rather not skip over it,
Yeah.
Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa, sci-fi best of films.
Sounds like the singer of that theme might have had some sinus issues as well, huh?
Well, congestive.
Lost Best Animated Film to The Incredibles. That's it. All right.
Okay.
Kids' Choice Awards. Up to you.
Okay.
Up to you.
It's the Kids Choice Awards. It's KCA to you, but it's the kids making the choice, making the choice, making the choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Best movie, of course, this was nominated for. It lost to The Incredibles. And again, the best voice actor, Henry. But unfortunately, Diaz, Murphy, and Myers all nominated again, but they lost to the fourth nominee. And that was Will Smith for Shark Tale.
Ooh, that must have stung.
Must have stung. What's this? I can't do Shrek. Okay. MTV.
Sorry, before I hit that recording on MTV, sometimes I gotta...
Oh my God. All right. That one was Antonio Banderas was nominated for Best Comedic Performance for his great role as Puss in Boots. And he lost to an incredible performance. Honestly, can you believe Dustin Hoffman has an MTV Movie Award for Best Comedic Performance for Meet the Fockers? Because it's true.
That's pretty sad.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? Shrek 2 was nominated for even more awards than Shrek. Let's hear the People's Choice theme.
Oh, wow. That's the theme I like to think of as noble. It's a noble theme. Yep. Here we go. Oh, PCAs. Here we go.
The people make the choice. It's up to the people that chooses they see fit.
Fit.
Chooses People's Choice Awards. It's the choice awards to the people.
Yeah. All right. That was nominated. This is wild, Henry. Nominated for Best Motion Picture of the Year at the People's Choice Awards, and somehow it lost to Fahrenheit 9/11. Not really sure what the hell happened there.
I remember that. We've talked about this because I remember Michael Moore getting up there and giving a real, barn burner of an acceptance speech, and then Mel Gibson coming on to support him. It was the weirdest fucking surreal out-of-body award show.
The People's Choice Awards?
Yep. Don't ask me why I was watching.
There were that many liberals in America in 2004 voting for a Michael Moore film?
Oh, huge, because that was the height of the Iraq War, man.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Fahrenheit 9/11, by the way, also beat Shrek 2 for the Palme d'Or at Cannes that year. At the People's Choice Awards, Shrek 2 won Best Animated Movie. It won Best Comedy. Puss in Boots and Shrek, the characters, Henry, were nominated for Favorite Animated Movie Star. And they lost.
Not plural.
No, just star. Shrek and Puss in Boots. They lost, Henry, to Donkey.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What a shame. Okay. And it won Best Sequel, Henry.
Sure. It's better than Spider-Man 2.
Way better. And how about the Teen Choice Awards?
It's the Teen Choice Award.
Yeah, it won Best Comedy and Best Animated Movie at the Teen Choice Awards.
The teens loved it.
I found it interesting that the Teen Choice Award was the only one that didn't nominate the first Shrek for a bunch of stuff. And I thought that was kind of interesting because it is true. All of the jokes in Shrek are directed at 5-year-olds or boomers. And nobody in between.
That's true.
In the first 10 minutes of Shrek 2, I wrote down there's a Hawaii Five-O reference. Keeping in mind, this is before CBS rebooted the show. We are literally referencing Jack Lord from the 70s. And immediately after that, a reference to the Rawhide theme, just in case people were too old. I mean, too young to get the Hawaii Five-O. What?
Weird. You're right. I don't know. You're right. I mean, I saw that too.
We're making Shrek 2 for 80-year-olds? Hilarious. Yeah, all right. So the movie starts. Shrek and Fiona, they're still married, living in the swamp.
Yeah, a lot of. Isn't there like a little montage to show their?
There's a million montages in all of these movies.
Yeah. But what a transparently odd shortcut to use in an animated film. To use
What, montages?
ad nauseum.
Well, this movie is
in
just
an animated film.
Well, it is odd because, like, usually to like do passage of time in an animated movie, what they'd usually do is write a song. You know, like if you think about The Lion King, there's that whole section where like Hakuna Matata, where he ages like fucking 15 years in that one song. And in this movie, they're just like, we'll play a pop song and we'll show him do some stuff. It's all right.
Well, I'm glad that I wasn't treated to Alan Menken, so it's fine that they did that. I'd rather be.
Sure.
Rather this. No.
All right, so they're going to the land of far, far away, which is where Fiona comes from. It appears to be Hollywood.
It's a very, very creative name. Far, far away.
It's all right.
Far, far away.
I thought it was cute.
You're so weird.
And then they get there, and they're meeting Fiona's parents. It's John Cleese. Thank God there's no trans people in this movie, so we don't have to hear his words about that. And then there's Julie Andrews.
Yeah, the delightful Julie Andrews, and
Miss Bliss herself.
The cantankerous. Now, you just mentioned trans, but I mean, he hates everybody who's not.
Yeah, he hates all races and orientations that are not of his own.
And I think all non-Brits.
Well, he's really, it's like the British version of like America First.
Yeah.
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 He's into that.
Yeah, we talked about him recently on the vacation episode. He came up because of
so well done, John Cleese. You've tarnished your entire legacy. Great stuff. And also, I mean, you know, it would help if he'd been funny in the last 25 years, but he hasn't. We have over there in Far, Far Away, John Cleese is not happy about this union. She is not happy that her daughter is an ogre and married to an ogre. She wants him to be with She wants her to be with Prince Charming, played by Rupert Everett.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a tough time with my LVP, and I kept thinking about during this whole movie, you know, my kids' movies experience are limited, comparatively speaking. So I don't mean to keep saying it, but I guess it's also because it's recent in memory. Is that I was thinking of how three-dimensional the characters in Frozen feel compared to this movie. Like down to the minor characters, down to the prince.
I don't know about that.
I think so. I mean, like
I'll take Donkey over Olaf.
No, hey now. You remember Olaf?
Yeah, sucks. I wish he stayed dead in the second one.
Special place in my heart. Okay.
Josh Gad.
I don't think about that part. I just think it's of him as like a nice little snowman.
I think about him because everything he says sounds exactly like Josh Gad.
Are you trying to ruin my feeling for Olaf?
Yes.
It's working. All right. Rupert Everett's character, holy God. You were talking about Farquaad in the first movie, but in this movie, man, the villain, I mean, he sucks. He sucks. And they got Julie Andrews, and they don't give her, like, anything to do. Nothing to do. They give Cleese all the lines, and then the only one who I thought was at least had some dynamism, if you can call it that, would be Jennifer Saunders.
I mean, but I don't like that character. That didn't make me laugh. I do think Jennifer Saunders has the ability to be funny, and there's like a couple good lines in this movie or whatever, and she has a song, I guess. But like,
she didn't make me laugh either. But at least she's thought out a little bit.
But I want to talk about the Cleese character because it's such a weird character. He's the dad, and he goes off on his own for like long sections of the movie where we're just following John Cleese, and I never really understand why. Like, it's Shrek 2. Clearly what we want to see is Shrek, the donkey, and Fiona, right?
Right.
Those are the characters that we brought over from the first one that we liked.
I believe so. Yeah.
Also, this is a film that has this is a franchise that has trouble animating humans. They don't do it well yet. I don't know if that changes at some point, but it's not there yet. And so, to make the decision to focus so much of this movie on John Cleese, who's a human character, and then to have Shrek take a love spell that turns both him and Fiona into human beings, like, to me, in this movie, they finally got the ogres looking good. And so, like, 40 minutes in, we turn them into humans for the rest of the movie, and they look like shit.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Why would you do that?
Uh,
Stick to your strengths, movie.
Well, they don't know their strengths. They don't know their weaknesses. I will say also, I had thought over the years, I guess, because I just heard about it a lot, but I haven't experienced it because I'd never seen this movie. I thought that Puss in Boots was going to have like a much bigger role, and I was really surprised at like kind of the little screen time they gave Antonio.
Yeah, I had the same sensation, and it's probably just because he's the only good thing about the movie. Like, I guess, like, I saw this movie at the time, and like, so like when people mention Shrek, like, I remember it pretty much, and when people mention Shrek 2, I'm like, oh, that's the one with Puss in Boots.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I will say this: I laughed. I mean, laughed. I don't want to say if it was like really loud, probably not, but I did laugh. And this was when Puss in Boots gets a hairball for an extended, really long period of time, and his eyes get really big. I thought that was very funny. It's the dumbest fucking thing, and it made me laugh because
I get it.
Yeah, it's the timing of it. It was good. It was well timed in this movie, and it just goes on for a really long time.
I also enjoyed the first time he tried to put on his cute face to like manipulate them.
That was cute. Didn't make me laugh.
But it's cute. Puss in Boots is a very cute character design. It helps that I like cats. It helps that those boots are cool, and he jumps out of them every so often. And I don't know. It's clearly a character. They needed like a new toy to sell for the second movie, and so they put all their energy into this character.
Correct. And they made him an orange cat, so he pops on the screen.
That's right. All right, what else do you want to talk about? Pretty much all my notes are shitty pop culture references and weirdly good songs they used.
What were some of the songs? Because I did remember that they upped the ante a little bit.
At one point, there's a Pete Yorn cover of Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You've Never Fallen in Love With by the Buzzcocks. That like blew my mind.
Bizarre.
Yeah. At one point, they're in that bar with Larry King, and they play People Ain't No Good by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds from The Boatman's Call. That was kind of mind-blowing. There's a Tom Waits song at one point.
That was very evident. I heard that immediately.
Yeah, weird stuff.
I must have somebody on staff who, like, they went to. They were just like, "Hey, you look young and hip. How old are you? 23, intern? What's like, a hip? What would be something that would be cool, And probably somebody's poor intern sitting in a basement is just like, he's probably listening, he or she, listening to Tom Waits. And just like says it to well, no, Katzenberg wouldn't go down to the bowels.
Yeah, he would. No, Katzenberg is all hands on deck.
All right, so maybe he went down to the file room and like got somebody's like Discman or early version of an iPod. Were iPods around in 2004?
Maybe. Yeah. I think that's when they were like starting. Maybe 2005. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I got my first one in like my second year of college or something. which was 2006.
Okay, yeah, I got mine secondhand.
I'm
in
sure you did.
2010. Still have it. It's in my car.
I want to talk about the Joan Rivers cameo, please. Because that took me by surprise. I would like to talk about, in 2004, 10 years after the fact, doing a white Bronco chase parody.
Yeah.
In a kids' movie. Hey, kids, remember that time that football player brutally butchered 2 people?
No.
No, you weren't born yet.
Right.
Yeah. Dumb fucking movie. All right. There's also the giant gingerbread man at the end of the movie, which I didn't like because it reminded me of Ghostbusters 2 with the Statue of Liberty.
It reminded me of Ghostbusters, the original, with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You know,
but they were controlling it, so it reminded me of Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, and
it wasn't in Nemesis. It was on their side. There was also a Justin Timberlake poster above Princess Fiona's bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's great stuff. Sir Justin, I believe the poster said.
Just doesn't age well.
And then at the end of the film, let's just do a big Donkey and Puss in Boots are going to duet on Livin' La Vida Loca.
That was nice.
You enjoyed that? You enjoyed a little Ricky Martin song at the end of this movie?
It reminded me of how much fun that song is.
Black cats and voodoo dolls.
I remember how ridiculous that song was when it came out, and anytime it would come on the radio, I was totally down for it.
My favorite thing about Ricky Martin was when we worked at Barnes & Noble. He came out with this memoir, and the title of it was I Am. And then we had like a huge display for it in the Spanish language book section. And so the title of the book was just Yo. And so the cover was this like black and white, very serious picture of Ricky Martin. And the title was just Yo.
I don't think I was at your store. I remember that.
You were. You definitely were. It was just for me. When I went upstairs, I used to pass it on the 3rd floor and enjoyed it every time.
Yo.
Ricky Martin's new memoir.
Was it a black and white photo? It had to be a black and
white. It was, and just like looking as serious as possible.
Yeah, with his hair seagulled up.
Yeah, it was seagulled up. You're right. Somebody find that cover and post it in the Discord. It'll make me laugh.
Song.
I mean, this movie, it's just... So, at one point, Shrek takes this potion from the fairy godmother and turns into a big fat guy. He looks like when the Ninja Turtles would put on, like, a trench coat and go out into the street. And wear those little human masks. And,
Ow.
Yeah. And so, like... I don't know. So Fiona shacks up with Prince Charming, and Prince Charming says that he is Shrek. Like, I'm Shrek, I've taken the thing, and I'm Shrek now. And Fiona believes it, and is with this Shrek imposter for seemingly weeks of her life. And so I have so many questions, Henry. A, how the fuck does she not know this? Because as somebody who spent an enormous portion of her life switching back and forth from human to ogre, she should know that your voice stays the fucking same.
That occurred to me instantly. Before anything else, I was just like, well,
what?
All right, I guess he doesn't have the Scottish. She doesn't.
Yeah. I guess we're just accepting that.
Yeah, and, you know, there was one of those instances, too, where it just feels slipshod, where they have, if they want to go that direction, fine, and they have an opportunity to maybe make it funny, but they don't even go for that. We just get, like, a few scenes of her. We don't even see, like, really why she would believe it.
Because, like, from the second he gets there, he acts like Prince Charming, who's, like, this really overly cocky loser. He's like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast or some shit. And so, like, like, why would you ever trust this guy? And here's another problem I have, Henry, that I really, really want to discuss.
Okay.
They're on their honeymoon right now.
Yeah.
He's definitely fucking her.
I would think so.
How many times does she fuck Prince Charming before realizing he's not her husband?
Well,
I mean, what a scam. Next time I meet, like, a really hot lady with a husband, I'm just, like, go over one day and be like, I took a potion. It's me.
right. Yeah. Now, wait. So, all right, I've gotten a little confused. Aren't
Hey, Beyonce, actually, I am Jay-Z. I took a potion from a fairy godmother.
Yeah, that's not a stretch at all. I could see that.
It's going to wear off in just a day. In the meantime, do you want to fuck a lot?
Put a ring on it.
Okay.
The thing is that, so they're on their honeymoon, but Shrek and Fiona, I don't understand. Have they been married at the end of the first movie?
I feel as though this movie takes place maybe 1 month after the previous movie.
So they're not married, and she isn't married, so she's not really on a honeymoon, but she's living with this prince.
All right, but she's just gotten together with the love of her life.
Right, so she's living with this prince, and clearly there's some sexual activity going on. I would think.
There's got to be.
Yeah. Although it's Rupert Everett.
Whatever, man. He's never played a straight dude before?
No,
Was he straight in My Best Friend's Wedding? Or is he a gay friend in that?
No, I think he's a gay friend in that.
Yeah. What have you seen him in? He was in Ideal Husband. He was in a lot of those Oscar Wilde films.
Yeah, he's straight in that, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Obviously. But yeah, no, he was in that great Madonna movie.
The Next Best Thing, incredible.
That
that is one of the worst movies ever made.
It's amazing. Madonna, really one of the best we have to...
Isn't that the final film by John Schlesinger?
I hope not.
I believe so.
Wait, no. He kept working? No?
He did, until that movie. I'm looking it up right now. All right.
That's sad.
Yeah, John Schlesinger, the guy who directed such classics as Midnight Cowboy and Marathon Man, Day of the Locust, Falcon and the Snowman. His final film was The Next Best Thing with Madonna and Rupert Everett.
That sucks, man. That's too bad.
I know.
I hate hearing stuff like that. Ugh. So depressing.
Yeah, that's a real bummer.
It's
like Arthur Hiller's last film being National Lampoon's Pucked.
Arthur Hiller.
Yeah. All right.
A rung down from Schlesinger.
I would agree. Anything else you want to talk about from this classic?
Not really, man. I mean, look, it wasn't painful for me. It wasn't. It was
the
just
second
boring.
one was pretty painful for me, and it was also just like, honestly, like all these people that listen to the show, like we have such good listeners and patrons and people in the Discord. People are like communicating with me every day now about the show, and the main reason people seemed excited for Shrek is their love for Shrek 2.
Oh, now I feel bad.
I'm watching this movie. And, like, I honestly can't imagine thinking this is good. So, like, it's like everybody I know that listens to the show, like, I love all these people and I respect their opinions and I follow a lot of them on Letterboxd. And I'm just watching this movie in, like, amazement, going, like, how is this not horrible?
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, man. I mean, Look, I'm just going to say it's a 2. It's a 2-star. It's not a 1 for me.
I'm giving it a
2.
1.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll be the good cop on this episode, and there ain't much to wiggle room. But, I wonder if the other thing is Discord and the patrons aren't our only audience. So remember, I don't know who we have.
That's just
people
who I'm communicating with on the regular, and
Right.
I've had to like confront it. Like maybe those people, because they're people that want to talk to me every day, they're probably crazy people.
I mean, there's that.
Yeah, like those people are all nut jobs in the Discord, I
Right.
bet.
Right.
And so I have to believe that there are sane people listening to the show that can understand why I'm shitting on Shrek 2, because very simply, it's an extraordinarily bad movie.
It's as you would say, it's sort of a nothing burger.
Do I say
That's
that?
just
I don't believe I say that.
Maybe I heard that on CNN.
Maybe. Jake
yeah.
Tapper told you that one?
Probably. I didn't find it as awful as you. I feel like our roles are a little reversed on this one.
Much like Shrek and Prince Charming.
Correct. But I think it's bad. I certainly expected a lot more. I really did, because I had also heard that this was like the one, and I don't see it in sort of any way, in any shape. I don't see how this is a better movie or a great movie. I don't get it. Yeah, it's odd to me, and I don't know. I didn't know there was quite that much reverence for it over the first one.
I'm looking at the Discord. They love it. They love it. Everybody.
Detractors?
There's no detract. I mean, Josh Leamer. Honestly, thank you, Josh Leamer. You're coming across like the sanest person in this fucking chat room.
What's he saying?
I can't get into them. I find Shrek too gross. I agree. Shrek's disgusting.
Yeah.
He's just constantly walking around with a fucking finger in his butthole. Just farting and burping and swimming in mud. Like, this guy's disgusting.
I agree with that.
I get that's the
wholeheartedly.
point, but Jesus. And those ears, you know what? The Shrek logo is gross. Those ears are disgusting. I don't want to look at this character.
Right.
And there's so much Shrek porn. People want to watch this guy fuck.
Shrek porn?
There's tons of it.
What a world, man.
I know. Did I ever tell you about the time I was on the subway and I saw a guy who had tattooed on his arm like a scene of like characters from Family Guy having sex?
You did not.
It was just, I swear to you, it was just Family Guy porn on this guy's body.
Did you go talk to him?
No, I took a picture though, but I lost it. It's on my old phone.
Ah.
I know.
Where was the tattoo?
If people go into my Twitter, I think I tweeted that picture years ago. You can find it.
Was it on his forearm or something?
I think it might have been, yeah. It was totally visible. He was just like in short sleeves.
What kind of dude was this?
It was like, I don't know. He looked like a pretty regular guy. Yeah. And it was just like Lois Griffin sucking a cock on his arm. All right.
That's awful. Jesus Christ.
Who's your MVP?
Jennifer Saunders.
Mine is Antonio Banderas.
I wanted to give it to him. I was disappointed he didn't have more of a role.
If he had one scene in this movie, he'd still be the MVP.
Yeah, I'm anticipating hopefully we get more of him. But
we're getting a big spin-off in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Getting a lot more of them.
It's called Puss.
In Boots.
Oh, it's not just called Puss?
No, they wouldn't call an animated kids movie just Puss.
Puss.
You really thought that?
No.
Okay, good. You totally convinced me.
Oh, I thought you would get the joke and go along with me, but yeah.
That was good, man. All right. My LVP's Cleese.
You know, that's fair, because I was going to write Rupert Everett for his like non-existent sort of villain, but I haven't given an LVP to somebody who's just not a good person in a while. So let's do John.
It's not even just that. John Cleese has as much screen time in this fucking movie as Shrek does, and he is never interesting for a single second.
And this was made.
The dinner scene with Shrek with Donkey at the dinner table is not that bad.
No, it was fun. That was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. Yeah, see, there were more things in this movie that didn't bother me than bothered you, but we'll see. I'm not looking forward to some of the follow-ups we're doing, but we'll see.
All right. Well, next week on the show, we're having Shut Up Tim in studio, baby. Not actually, just he's in California. Yeah, live from California, talking about Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After.
Shrek Forever After.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so exciting stuff there. 2 more Shreks.